Hey, CJ Wilson here with DoakTalk. Of course, I'm your host. Going to go ahead and jump right into the running back positional breakdown leading into fall camp. Just wrapped up the quarterback positional breakdown. If you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and hit the DoakTalk link and tap into the quarterback positional breakdown and just get some information on that leading into fall camp. Like I said, we're going to jump into the running back, and it's probably going to be the focal point of the offense this year, especially with Gus Malzahn be the offensive coordinator that's running the football. So we're going to speak about a few of the running backs on the roster. Of course, just to kind of give you guys a synopsis. I did this pre-spring, doing this post-spring because there's some new players on the roster and things like that. And of course, got to go through spring practice and see what you have on the roster. Before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the Dope Talk community if you haven't already. All right, guys, going to jump right into it and speak about a few names that's already been on the roster. Talk about Roydell Williams. As you guys know, Roydell transferred from Alabama last year, had a lot of hype coming into the season, but had a disappointing year, just like everybody else on the offensive side of the ball. It was an all-time historically bad offense for FSU. Quarterback, offensive line, running backs, you name it, nothing really gelled. So Roydell didn't have the season he wanted, but decided to come back and work pretty hard this spring. And there was some raving reviews from Mike Norvell and staff with Roydell's running style leaving post-spring practice. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that based upon what they seen last year, but guys, if you look at the offensive line and what they had to work with last year from any running back, I'm not judging. I'm not holding. I'm not holding last year against any player, so to speak, especially running backs. I'm not holding last year against those guys because they had a, just being quite frank, they had a shit hand that was dealt to them in regards to the offensive line play. It was atrocious, to say the least. You had to put somebody like Barry Sanders back there to have a productive season for FSU, and even then it would have still been a little bit shaky. But Roydell, he's coming. He's looking around 224, leaving spring, leaving the summer workouts, which was kind of alarming to me. Added some bulk, but I think he'll be a productive player within the offense. I think the offensive line will be much better than it was last year, of course. You have another big back in Caziah Holmes. These are the two seniors within the running back room. Pretty much kind of, I guess, say Caziah would be your big back type of guy, being with FSU the last few years, transferred in from Penn State. Now, this is an interesting one. True sophomore rather, Kam Davis. I know a lot of people gave Cam flack last year for the production. Like I stated, I'm not holding anything against these running backs from last year. You got a clean slate, brand new offensive line, a brand new scheme that is tailored to run the football and does a damn good job of getting production out of running back position. So clean slate for everybody. Kam Davis, he was around 225 to 230 last year. Ended up chipping away a lot of those pounds. He's around 215, between 215 and 218. I think the report stated 218 for Kam Davis, which is very good. He's in great shape. He's looking really good. And on top of being bulky last year, he had a lingering ankle injury that pretty much he shouldn't play last year after a certain point within the season. But due to the lack of running backs we had on the roster, he pretty much had to play. And him playing was a detriment to his performance on the field. The ankle is healed. He's healthy. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kam Davis could do in year two within the offense. I'm still high on Kam Davis. He was a highly rated running back for a reason. He was a 5-star fringe, 4-star, depending on the service. Yeah, Alabama, Georgia, University of Florida. These are schools that pursue him pretty heavily while he's committed to FSU. So I'm still high on Kam Davis. I think shedding the pounds, getting in better shape, and of course, a better offensive line up front, better running scheme would do good for him. Now, this is a running back I really liked. He made a lot out of limited reps last year that he had, and that's Sam Singleton. Sam Singleton is coming back. He gained some pounds too. He's over 200 pounds. He's explosive, a dynamic playmaker that could take a 10-yard gain or an 8-yard gain and take it to the house for a 60-yarder. He has that type of speed. If you guys remember the game against Duke, if I'm not mistaken, had a kick return for a touchdown for Sam Singleton. And just aside from the kick return for a touchdown, he had other explosive plays where you could see, yeah, this kid kind of has it. He was a 4-star recruit coming out from the Jacksonville area. Look for Sam Singleton to throw his name in the hat, throw his name in the pool rather, as far as getting some significant carries for this upcoming season. Now, this is another name I'm really excited about and what they could do for the offense, and just not the offense, special teams as well, as they are a special teams demon, and that's Jaylin Lucas. Jaylin Lucas, as you guys know, transferred in from Indiana, was an All-American kick returner, Big Ten returner of the year at Indiana, broke all kind of records at Indiana returning kicks. And he's also dynamic playmaker out of the backfield, whether it's running the ball or design screens, things like that. He's a guy who just got to get the ball in his hands. Simple as that. If you remember the first few games last year against Georgia Tech, I want to say the second game of the season before he got hurt, he showed flashes of that explosive ability in which we thought we would be getting from Jaylin Lucas. Unfortunately, he ended up getting hurt, and that pretty much derailed the rest of his season. He's back healthy now. Long story short, look for Jaylin Lucas to be that gadget type of guy, so to speak, a matchup nightmare. You want to get him in space and make plays. He's going to be a guy that's going to have a lot of all-purpose yards when you factor in running, receiving, and return yards. So I'm excited for Jaylin Lucas. He's back healthy. One of the most dynamic playmakers in the country, in my opinion. Just has to get healthy. Well, stay healthy, rather. Now, this is another interesting one. We're starting to get some interesting names, and I'm going to give my full synopsis of the running back room after we go over these names, because I really like it, especially the names we added within the offseason and getting guys healthy. But Gavin Sawchuk, this is a guy that entered the transfer portal during the spring window, wasn't participating in spring practice, just enrolled at FSU in the summer, from Oklahoma. Dynamic playmaker. If you guys remember 2022, back in the Cheez-It Bowl against Oklahoma, he was a true freshman in that game, and he ran for 15. He had 15 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown against FSU within that game. He followed it up with his sophomore year. We had 744 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. Had some hamstring issues last year, ended up transferring from Oklahoma to get fresh scenery, and landed at Florida State. Big time playmaker. I think this kid is going to make a lot of plays for FSU. Fits the scheme a lot. I saw the kid from my own eyes. He gave us a nightmare within that bowl game. So I think he's going to be a welcome addition to the running back room. And this last one is a name that pretty much been ringing bells since he ended up flipping his commitment from the Georgia Bulldogs to the Florida State Seminoles on signing day. That's Ousmane Kromah. Ousmane Kromah. This kid is dynamic. Just speaking of high school himself, he was one of the highly rated blue chip running backs within the country. Was committed to Georgia. Fringe 5-star. This kid is probably the most talented running back FSU has recruited, in my opinion, probably since Kam Davis. I'm sorry, not Kam Davis, Cam Akers. Probably since Cam Akers. He's probably the most talented running back FSU has recruited since Cam Akers. Trying to make sure I haven't missed anyone during that time frame. Yeah, I think he is the most talented running back since Cam Akers and Ousmane Kromah. I mean, he's been on campus for a few months, and he's already created a crazy buzz. Now, I don't want to jump the gun because the pads haven't came on just yet. Of course, that is the be-all, tell-all when it comes to football. Once the pads get on and the contact gets stuff popping. But just from the summer workouts and things like that, these some quotes that I got in regards to his production. He's been a freak of nature, playmaker, fucking amazing, whatever you want to call it. Excuse my French, but this kid has really been impressing the staff and the players on the team as well in regards to what he brings to the table. He's a true freshman, but I really believe he's going to be challenging. Well, he's going to be challenging for. He's not going to be challenging. He's going to get and earn quality reps. He will be challenging, in my opinion, at some point in the season for the starting running back position. This kid is that damn good. So I really like what FSU has done, and look for Ousmane to have a big-time career at FSU. Could have a big-time freshman year, depending on how things shake out. But I'm really like the running back room as a whole. Of course, none of that really matters unless the offensive line kicks things in gear, which I think they will with all the new transfers we had, and productive transfers at that, not just transfers that transfer. These guys have had production at their previous school. We'll get on that within the offensive line video itself, but you got really real talent within this room. A lot of blue chip star power, Ousmane Kromah, Kam Davis, to say the least. And then you add dynamic playmakers like a Jaylin Lucas to the fold, Gavin Sawchuk, who's been productive at the P5 level at Oklahoma. You have your veteran big back guys in Caziah and Roydell. You have a very healthy running back room. It will be a running back room by committee, in my opinion, but it could be somebody that takes the bull by the horn, so to speak, at some point through the season and becomes the main guy. But I don't foresee running back production to be an issue at all, especially with Gus Malzahn being the offensive coordinator. If you look back at those UCF offenses, they've been top 10 in rushing, if I'm not mistaken, the last few years or so. So it's going to be a lot of playmaking ability within the backfield. We have coaching staff in the office line that can probably open up some holes for those guys. So we'll see how it plays out within the running room. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. We got more coming your way. I think next we'll tap into the receivers and tight end. Hit that like, or maybe offense line. Hell, I'm not even sure yet. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be one or the other. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe channel. Go Noles.